On your marks. Get set.
What the opposition is. Security and just know what our position is. More than conquerors, so say no longer rulers. No more flight, but we fight faithfully for the future. We win.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bench Perspective. Before we start anything, before we start basketball talk, we got to do something for the culture, baby. You ready, bro?
I'm ready.
Wakanda forever. Yeah. It's like that, baby. It's like that. Hey, a lot of things have been happening in the NBA. We just finished the All-Star. We just finished that All-Star break. And now it's time to talk about what are the expectations for the second half of the season. Bro, what do you think?
Let's get into it. Well, it depends on who we're talking about.
Okay.
We talking about the NULA Cavs,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how competitive they'll be.
Yeah.
Are they the definite win?
Mm-hmm.
The definite, what would you like to call them?
Well, bums. That's what I'd like to call them, but you know that's just not the truth. You know my hate for LeBron James, but
I'm aware. I know your hate for LeBron James, just like you know my hate for Lonzo Ball.
Okay.
But anyways, we can start with that.
Okay.
And I feel personally like the NULA Cavs, they have one alpha now.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have that one alpha and the rest are pretty much role players, but good role players,
Yeah.
solid role players that can score.
For sure. Yeah.
And to take some of that weight off LeBron, I say weight off LeBron as if all of it was on him.
Mm-hmm.
Being a person, an all-star like LeBron,
Yeah.
a person that transcends, supposed to be the greatest in the world, transcends the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all of it was on his back. Sure, they had Kevin Love.
Mm-hmm.
They, you can look like that. You can look like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking like that. I'm gonna let
They
you
had
finish, but
Dwayne
yeah.
Wade and you know a slew of other players.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were older,
Mm-hmm.
and that's factual. That's statistically factual. They were one of the older teams in basketball because that they couldn't defend.
So I got a question. Do you think their age is what prevented them from doing well?
Not just their age. I think that is one of the contributing factors. Yes,
Okay.
I do.
And what else stopped them from doing well?
The fact that I feel like there were a bunch of egos. You had a previous All-Star
Mm-hmm.
and a Derrick Rose. He was going through some stuff. I don't know all about it, but you could just tell he was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade, because of his age, was not the same player.
Okay.
But I like his attitude because
Yeah.
he chose to take a back seat and come off the bench. Along with that, I felt like they got rid of a person in RJ that should have been on the team because I felt like RJ was the glue.
Mhm.
But to make
big
my
mistake.
final statement and hand it over to you, I feel like as of right now,
Yeah.
as currently constructed, the new look Cavs are a favorite to come out the East and make some noise in the finals against the Warriors.
Well, you already know. I fully believe that the Cavs were going to come out the East regardless. Regardless of what was going on. The Celtics have been losing a lot of games. They're not who we thought they were at the beginning of the season or who you thought they were. At no time did I expect the Celtics to beat the Cavs. I don't expect the Raptors to beat the Cavs. I mean, you have Kyle Lowry as one of the best players on the Raptors team. Like, get out of here. Stop it. So, I mean, you took all the great talent or a lot of the great talent in the East and it went west this offseason. So I fully expected the Cavs to come out the East regardless. Now, what can we attribute, their struggles this season to? I do think that age has, can be attributed or it was a factor, but I think the lack of leadership from LeBron James was a big contributing factor. And I think their lack of practicing, didn't allow their team to mesh and come together like it should have. And you know, if you're not doing well in the game, why wouldn't you say, hey, I think we need to practice more? That goes to Isaiah Thomas's point when he went to LA and was talking about, yeah, we're actually practicing. I know they're older players, but you're not doing well. That it just makes it's logical. We got on to Allen Iverson. You know, his videos are still showing practice. Practice, yes, practice. Practice, yes. That's what you need to do. Your team's not doing well. Go practice. Thank you, Allen Iverson. So I mean, you're aged, but yes, you do need to go practice. Now, because they are younger players, I do think the outlook is better for LeBron James and, you know, the team, because they're so ready. They're looking at LeBron James like this. You know, like in awe.
Huh?
Yeah, starstruck. Like this is LeBron James, and most
LeBron James.
LeBron James, and most of them have come from, you know, poor situations in which they had no hopes for, you know, playoff berths, or especially not the finals. So they're like, man, here we go, you know. So I think they're much more excited than a Dwayne Wade, a Derrick Rose, and
Most
these
definitely.
other guys, and they're more willing to buy into whatever LeBron James wants to do. So I do think they'll be better just for those reasons, and like LeBron James doesn't have to, you know, the egos are set aside and everything
Right.
like that, and LeBron James can do less, and they'll just, you know, they're just so ready to buy into whatever he wants to do. And I don't think those other players were willing to just buy into, they weren't awestruck, they weren't just willing to buy into whatever LeBron James wanted to do.
Right.
So yeah, I think there was dissension in the locker room, and I do think that the outlook, you know, mentally and emotionally for their team is better. And so I think, you know, all the doubt has been dismissed for, you know, the Eastern Conference. But what about the Western Conference?
The Western Conference, I'm glad that we're going to talk about this.
Okay.
Because a team right now that was making moves,
Yeah.
the Houston Rockets.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
Houston Rockets, when you have a point guard as talented and as high of an IQ as my man has,
Yeah. You talking about Harden or Chris Paul?
I'm talking about Chris Paul.
Okay.
You know, at the point guard position. And I think he just really knows how to facilitate the ball. He can also shoot the ball very well. You got my man down there, Capella, who's playing within himself.
Yeah.
And he knows his role, and the trash buckets, the rebounds, the defense. He knows his role. He's playing within himself.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there are too many egos like the Cavs used to be. I feel like they're meshing, and I feel like you're going to see it even more
Yeah.
now that the All-Star break is over. And I feel like they are going to they meet the Warriors.
Yeah.
If they meet them
Yeah.
right now, how they're playing, they can take them 7 games. That's my prediction.
Wow.
They can take them
Wow.
7 games. You disagree?
No, I don't necessarily disagree, because my problem with the Warriors is that they have so much talent and they are so good that they don't fully, you know, they don't play their hardest every night. They're like, yo, you know, I'll play this quarter, you know, we'll get him in the second half. You know, I got KD to take it, you know, he's going to take it now, I'll do it later. That's what Steph Curry's saying. Klay Thompson's like, you know, you guys are awesome, you're doing such a great job. And they're not giving their all, you know, all 4 quarters.
Okay.
And so I do worry about them, because you see them, you know, kind of lagging at times.
Okay.
And it worries me, because, you know, you get complacent when you do that.
I agree.
And that scares me. And then you have Chris Paul and James Harden, who haven't won anything, and these boys are hungry. They are hungry and they want to win. So you have a hungry team who has talent, and they are balling.
Out of control.
They are balling, and then you have this team who's already won, kind of complacent, and they don't really have the same dog in them that,
Right.
you know, really the Warriors have. So yeah, it concerns me, and I think because of that reason, and mostly that reason, it is possible that they
Right.
could take them 7 games.
Another team I feel could do it, Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I'm serious. I feel that way because Russell is going to be who Russell is.
Yeah.
You know, when you need scoring, Carmelo is going to be who he is.
Yeah, yeah.
Not only that, with the addition of Paul George, it's like they have a core. And then
Yeah.
your boy Adams is down there having such an amazing season. Who
really
would've thought?
is.
Who would have
He
thought?
really is.
So when I watch them, when they're scoring, when they're actually putting defensive stops together,
Yeah.
and you know, basketball is a game of runs. So when they go on these 8-0 runs,
Yeah.
you know, when Carmelo is lights out from the three and you don't know what to do with him because you know his game, he'll fake you, one dribble, two dribble, pull up,
Yeah.
and that's money.
Yeah.
So I feel like with what they're doing right now, I don't think their bench is that deep.
Yeah. It's
And
not.
that could be, you know, to their detriment when you get further in the finals, you know, playoffs. But I really feel like they stayed
Well-
healthy. They didn't get in foul trouble. If
Yeah.
they played and produced on offense, I really feel like it could go 6 or 7.
I like the Thunder. I really do. And I think that Paul Pierce has said it a lot, and I hate quoting Paul Pierce because he's not the most reliable, person or source. But he was like, they were built for the playoffs,
Right.
and your rosters are shortened in the playoffs because you're not going to play Joe Blow on that you just picked up this year
Right.
in these big moments, and they have 3 huge names in Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, and Westbrook. And like you said, Westbrook is going to do what Westbrook does. And so, I know that they have the talent and they're starting to mesh and they're starting to know their roles on the team. Carmelo's Anthony shooting less shots, and I haven't heard anything
He's
about him
efficient,
complaining
but he's
about it.
efficient, though.
He is. He really is. And so that's to his credit.
Right.
Paul George is stepping up into that secondary role, and he's doing an awesome job. They beat the Warriors. They beat the Warriors in the last time they matched up, and they're going to be playing this week, later on this week. So I think that'll be something that'll be telling for the playoffs, and that's if the Warriors really see it as, hey, this is possibly a playoff matchup. Do we want to bring our A game? Because I know Westbrook still sees Durant and he starts salivating like, yo, it's time to eat. Barbecue, baby.
That's
barbecue.
what competition is all about.
That's what Westbrook sees, but I don't know if Kevin Durant still sees it as that, I left you, you bum, and I didn't want to be on your team and all that other stuff. But I know Westbrook is still thinking about that in the back of his mind. But I don't know if KD is, and if they aren't, then they might not take this game seriously. So it won't have that, that really intensity that we're looking for.
Also, since we're on the Western Conference, I think that their route to the finals is going to be harder. I think this past
for
year
sure,
you had injured
Yeah.
people, and they could just pretty much breeze through the West, in my opinion. But this year, I hope that point guards, the Rockets stay healthy. I hope the OKC stays healthy because I want to see a challenge.
You said something about last year, but the Warriors were just head and shoulders above and beyond everybody else in the
True.
Western Conference last year.
I agree.
This year, the teams in the offseason decided to, combine their powers.
Gotcha.
And, they wanted to compete with the Warriors.
Right.
And now you have the Houston Rockets and the Thunder.
Right.
In my opinion,
But
are the only teams that can really say that they even have a chance.
True, but you look at what was it, game 1, game 2, I think Kawhi Leonard got hurt. At the time, I believe San Antonio was up 17.
Daniel, don't talk about the Spurs
I'm
this
just saying,
year, okay?
I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking
Don't talk about the
last
Spurs,
year.
bro.
And Kawhi Leonard got hurt. Zaza did what he did. He Zaza.
I don't want to hear nothing about the Spurs.
And
this
after
year.
that, how did you come back from that game? But I really feel like this year it won't be so easy for the Warriors to get there. And I feel like it might be an upset. It might just be.
Okay. Well,
It might just be. That's why we do this. That's why these looks, I get these looks all the time. I'm not concerned about my brother's eye going like this and doing all of this stuff and he's looking at me like that.
So right
I
now,
get that every day.
who are you saying is in the Western Conference Finals? Let's go ahead and tell everybody
You didn't ask
what
me.
we expect from. Yeah, that's what this whole thing is about. What are the expectations for the second half of the season now that the All-Star break is over? Eastern Conference, you expect who to be in the Eastern Conference Finals? Who do you expect to be in the Western Conference Finals? Let's end like that.
I think that's easy for me. I expect it to be the Cavs, the new look Cavs, and I expect Boston to be there.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Kyrie against LeBron, and we know LeBron's going to come out on top.
LeBron James.
He's going to come out on top.
LeBron.
So, would you like to give your Eastern Conference before I go to the Western?
Eastern Conference Finals, definitely the Cavs. I like calling them the new look Cavs. The Cavs, and I'm gonna go with the Raptors. I'm gonna go with the Raptors. Cavs and Raptors.
Okay. Bold predictions.
But the Cavs are gonna win either way, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So who else?
Western Conference
Finals. Okay.
Ooh-wee. I agree with Paul Pierce and his statements. I saw the same thing and heard the same thing you heard about them being built for the playoffs.
Okay.
I feel that when you have a hungry team, they've done nothing.
Yeah.
They've won nothing. I should make that statement.
Yeah.
Paul George, he's been going against LeBron pretty much his whole career. You know the deal with Westbrook. You know the deal, the championship-less Carmelo Anthony. And I feel when you got that grit, when you have that hunger, when you have that scrap in a team,
oh yeah, for sure,
that they make noise.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're gonna play with a chip on their shoulders. So I would like to see OKC against the Warriors.
But that's not going to happen, and let me tell you why. Because the Warriors may be the number 1 seed, and the Rockets may be the number 2 seed. And what that means is that the Thunder are going to have to meet up with the Warriors to get to the conference finals, and that is where they're going to meet their downfall.
Okay.
And so it's going to be Warriors-Rockets, and I think right now the Raptors are leading the Eastern Conference in wins right now.
You got to let me know.
Well, I'll have to check that out. But the same thing is going to happen in the East too. You know, it's going to, if the Celtics are number 1 and the Cavs are number 2, that's going to be the matchup. Or it's going to be if Raptors are number 1 and the Cavs are number 2, that's going to be the matchup.
Okay.
So those are our predictions for the second half of the season. Hope you liked the video. If you liked it, like and subscribe. Hey, that's our perspective. We want your perspective. This is Bench Perspective.
Wakanda forever.
You didn't try to mention my sin and hit it on me. Point the finger at me like, ooh, I know who did it. Cause ooh, I know he did it. Accomplish my redemption so that I could be conformed to his image. So I'm twinning and I'm winning.
We can care less what the opposition is.